afternoon, world. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, humanity. Good afternoon.
Yes. Should I be talking and walking?
It's okay. You can.
Okay. Let's give a warm humanity welcome to my favorite chip-up chick, Deborah Peter.
Deborah's story is one that we've known for a couple of years since we found her during a fact-finding mission.
All right, well, she's had a very, very rough week. As some of you may have known from CNN, she was in Congress this week where she had to retell the story several times.
On December 22nd, 2011, at 7 p.m., so me and my brother were at home. We started hearing a gun shooting. So my brother called my dad and told him not to come back home because they're fighting.
What do you think about the United Nations? Do you think that they're going to be able to stop Boko Haram?
Well, I mean, you have to say that Boko Haram, the United Nations has been very incompetent.
This is what is shocking. The United Nations, last night, when they heard that you good people out here were going to come out and protest, what did they do? They designated it a terrorist organization. Congratulations. That is people power. But let me tell you why this is a disgrace that they waited till yesterday to do it. One of the first international organizations to be attacked by Boko Haram was, guess who? The United Nations. And 24 people were killed in that attack. Why did it take 2 years? Why did it take 2 years for the United Nations to recognize a terrorist group that attacked them as a terrorist group?
That's right.
That ain't right.
The Unfair campaign is a campaign that we launched to highlight the injustice of the situation where the United Nations is taking or benefiting from the resources of the government of Nigeria, while the citizens of Nigeria who are victims of terrorism are being denied those same benefits.
All right, how many of us know who funds the United Nations? All the countries and all the governments of the world fund the United Nations. Now let's talk about the victims of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Guess what the government of Nigeria has done for them? Nothing.
In 2011, Boko Haram, the terrorist group, blew up the United Nations building, and about 25 people were killed. Should I say that again?
And at least 40 wounded following a major attack, it seems, on the United Nations compound there. An entire wing of that building has been levelled, has been demolished. A car laden with explosives, according to the Associated Press, has done this.
And that is why we call on the UN today. It is not enough to designate your enemy who killed 24 people in your building 2 years ago as a terrorist.
Boko Haram attacked them, over a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And they did not designate Boko Haram a terrorist group and freeze their assets. We wrote to the UN in January asking them to do so. So I really don't have very much confidence in the ability of the UN to do much. Secondly, even in the UN camps for refugees who have fled from Nigeria into Cameroon, the people there are starving. The UN has not provided adequate funds for the UNHCR to care for the victims. So went to a camp and they hadn't been fed in 49 days.
More than 3,000 refugees have fled to this particular refugee camp over the last several months, but Cameroonian officials say as many as 12,000 Nigerians are in the country, many staying in makeshift shelters in the bush.
If you look at my t-shirts, you will see that I'm wearing a t-shirt that says unfair. Unfair. The UN is unfair. Why did I say that? When Boko Haram bombed the UN headquarters, guess what happened? The Nigerian government decided to renovate the building at the cost of $30 million.
This year alone, about 2,000 people have been killed in violence caused by Boko Haram.
Yeah.
The government is doing nothing for them. And so It's morally wrong. It's completely unacceptable for the world's largest bureaucracy to be taking all of these resources from a government that should be spending those resources on victims.
Some 25 days ago, with my brother, who came for holidays, my wife, and my 4 kids, the latest of one being 4 years old. We were on the National Road number 1 between Waza and the park of Kalamalwe. We went to see the elephants during one day. We are now detained since 25 days. The living conditions are very bad.
Boko Haram will mount a roadblock on the road, on an expressway, stop the people, ask for their ID. If you are a Christian, they will use a chainsaw and cut off your head. If you are a Muslim and you work for the government, they will cut off your head. If you are a Muslim and you don't work for the government, they will abduct you and take you and forcefully make you join that. Somebody say that ain't right. That ain't right. What I'm telling you is not figurative. This happened in September last year while I was in Nigeria. On that day, 180 people were killed, most of them with chainsaw cutting off their heads. That's not right. This ain't right, folks.
Car bombs caused 2 of the 3 explosions in central Nigeria on Tuesday. They were planted in 2 markets and killed at least 118 people.
A president who is out of his depth, even on normal days.
Yeah.
And then when you have the rainy day or the storm or the tornado, whatever you want to call the insurgency on steroids that we're seeing in Nigeria now, he's completely overwhelmed. I don't know what he can do to fix the situation, but clearly, because the lives of these young girls are at stake, whatever needs to be done to get them back home safely, that needs to be done. But the fact remains that, apart from the girls, in the last few weeks, hundreds of people have been killed, including the day before yesterday when 15 college kids were part of the almost 100 people that were blown up when the terrorists blew up a market that I was in 2 weeks ago. I mean, it could have been me, quite literally.
I want to honor 15 students of the University of Jos that I graduated from. 15 students, 5 of them were medical students. The day before yesterday, Boko Haram blew them up, and they were part of the 118 people who were killed in that bomb blast. I was in that market myself just 2 weeks ago, and I can imagine the agony of a parent who put your child through medical school up to the final year, and they were killed by these barbarians.
The explosions are believed to have been caused by an IED around the busy Jos main market between the railway terminus and the temporary site of the Jos University Teaching Hospital.
Hitler started by burning the books. Boko Haram is burning the books and the schools and taking the children away. Tell me that there's something wrong with that. They lined up young boys in February in a boarding school, and they checked their private parts to see who had pubic hair. And if you had pubic hair, they took you out and they slit your throat.
That ain't all right.
That ain't all right.
That is evil.
And so, in the face of this unspeakable evil, the sense of humanity, the milk of human kindness in us must arise and say, no, never again.
No,
never again.
No,
never again.
Gunmen from Islamist group Boko Haram stormed a boarding school in Nigeria overnight and killed 29 pupils, police and the military said on Tuesday. Some of the students' bodies were burned to ashes. Police Commissioner Sanusi Rufai said of the attack on the federal government college of Buniyadi, a secondary school in Yobe State in the country's northeast. A similar attack in June in the village of Mamudo left 22 students dead.
Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. On December 22nd, 2011, she was home when they heard gunshots outside. And so they phoned her father and said to him, "Dad, there are gunshots outside. Please don't come home now." And the dad said, "This is not the first time that there's been gunshots. I'm going to come back home to you." This was the challenge of a single dad who had his kids at home, scared that there were gunshots. He decided to leave the church where he was pastoring and go back home. He got home, he saw his kids okay. He said to Deborah, "I'd like to have a shower." And Deborah fetched water for him to have his bath. With mom gone, Deborah was like, the life of the home. She was the mother of the home. And while he was in the bathroom, 3 men came to the house and knocked on the door.
And they asked him, "Where is your dad?" He now told them that my dad is in the bathroom taking a shower. So they waited on my dad about 3 minutes. So they go ahead and drag him out of the bathroom. They said he's wasting their time because they don't have any other time to wait for him. So when they take him out of the bathroom, they told him that he should deny his faith. He now told them that he can't deny his faith. So they told him that they're going to kill him if he didn't deny his faith.
They gave him a second chance to renounce his faith. He said, "I will not deny my faith, because the Bible tells me that if I deny my faith, Jesus will deny me before his Father in heaven." And so when he said that, they shot Pastor Peter 3 times in front of his daughter and his son. And after they shot him, the son, who was at the time 14 years old, said to them, "What did my dad do to you? Why did you shoot him?" And the 3 terrorists looked at each other. One of them said, "Let us kill this boy too." The second terrorist said, "No, he is too young. I told you the story before. They say they don't kill the young people." The other say he's too young. Their leader looked at him and said, "If we leave him, he will grow up to become a pastor like his father. So let us kill him." And the pastor was lying there gasping. And then they turned the gun on his son and shot him twice. That was when the pastor died, because he saw what they did to his son. The boy was groaning in pain, and he was asking his sister to plead with them for his life. And they told her, "If you say one word, we will kill you too." And it was at that point she kept quiet, and they shot the boy a 3rd time in the face, and they killed him.
But he told him that he should rather die than to go to hellfire. So he now told them that God said anyone that denied him, he's going to deny him too in the presence of his dad in heaven. So my dad refused to deny his faith, and then they shoot him 3 times in his chest.
Hitler started by taking people, putting them in trains and moving them to concentration camps. Boko Haram will come into your home, kill the parents, leave the children. Now they go into the schools and they abduct the children.
No, never again. No, never again. No, never again.
So as we're speaking right now, during this week, we've identified 5 of the girls who have escaped. And when I go to Abuja in a week's time, we're going to encourage them to obtain their passports. We're going to have them apply for their visas. And our desire is to bring them to Mountain Mission School before the end of this year.
Amen.
So there's something practical you can do. Go to the website of this school, see if you can support them.
Yes.
Go to Jubilee Campaign. I've given you a flyer. Some of you have received that.
So there's so much more that needs to happen as far as a strong military offensive that ends this once and for all.
Thank you very much. And you wanted to state your name one more time for the camera?
Emmanuuel Ogebe.
And who are you again?
I'm an international human rights lawyer based in Washington, D.C.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do we want? And when do we want it? I said, what do we want? And when do we want it? I said, what do we want? And when do we want it? Thank you very much.